It's just about the ease of use and access, if you will. I mean, if you take mobile for instance, or if you take even mobile, when you have apps and so on, you ultimately have to go inside an app and then sort of access it. With something like the Google Glass or other wearable technologies that are there, it's pretty much on your body, and it's sort of easier to get instant access, whether it's to information or whether it is actually other utilities immediately on the spot. I mean, take a simple example of doing a Google search on your Google glasses, or going into your phone and doing it. Your glass experience, I find it actually much more smoother in trying to get information. I mean, I'm walking around and I want to know the height of the Eiffel Tower, just basically it's instantaneous, rather than going up to my phone, opening up an app or whatever and asking information. Since the Explorers program was launched, basically the last 7 to 8 months, we've been developing 3 different particular pieces of software. And so one is basically along the lines of a facial recognition software. Another is basically along the lines of a maps software, where basically we want to personalize experiences and routing. Essentially, the third one is basically something that we don't want to be too public about. But these are two, I would say, two aspects that we're actually expecting a lot of support from the developer community. So once we actually have a prototype of our build, we will be basically launching it open source for people to jump in and basically get part of it. That's a tough thing to answer. I mean, if I knew that, honestly, Google would have probably nailed it before me. But so one is hardware obviously needs, there have to be some changes which make it more user friendly, and it's about just the experience. You wear it and you're just like, hey, listen, this product works, and if it works, then it works. I mean, there's really, there'll be a lot of reasons you can define for it, but it's an immediate kind of analysis. But the other thing is obviously software, and since it's in its initial stages, after we have a lot of applications that go on the Google Glasses interface, then we'll be able to really sort of capture the the users to interact with the app and interact with the product. So I think that it's basically got to be a combination of both. That is a hardware. I mean, obviously the the glass itself has to improve, as well as there've got to be some really amazing applications out there that really capture the users. I would say, let me talk about the one, I guess, the audio element. I mean, you often compared Siri's audio capabilities, and I haven't, been too successful with an Indian origin accent. But when I use the Google Glasses, actually, it was very user friendly. It didn't really pick on my accent as such, and whatever I said, it was able to sort of Google the information very accurately. I could go on saying sentences, and it would basically retrieve information from the internet. So from that perspective, it was actually very good. I mean, I really liked it. But again, I think most of it will be yet to seen once we start interacting with the other apps and we try and see the combination of the hardware and software. I mean, you can have quality applications built, but if the hardware doesn't really support it, it'll be like it'll be an application which people may not want to use. So yeah. I think initially a lot of utility related apps will work. So to start off with, applications that have to go with navigation. I mean, right now it's totally different technology on you, and the two applications that we're working on, one is like facial recognition, and the other is got to do with maps and directions and sort of personalizing that. I think that will sort of go a long way. I mean, you could pretty much have like a treasure hunt game where you're actually walking around and you can gamify components. So there's a whole new dimension with wearable technology. There's a whole new dimension to it. It's not just your sort of mobile device where you're kind of moving it around in your hand. Right now you have a 3D component to it where you're moving around. So I can see a lot of different interesting games also come about. But I think initially utility applications will sort of make the headlines.